dun, 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 dun. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Lazy Mini Pain. I'm Laz, and for some reason I was singing when I started. I don't know why. Got to do all the silently phone stuff because I've forgotten it and I'm late. Sorry about that. I'm only a minute late though, so it's not too bad, I suppose. But it could have been a lot worse. And it could have been a lot better. Could have actually been in time for a change, eh? That would have been good. Right. Now I've got to figure out how I actually watch my own stream again on my phone, so I can come and join everybody who is in the portrait mode. If you're one of them people who's going to try and get me to say stupid stuff again, yeah, I don't mind talking about angelic weapons and musical instruments. Nor do I mind talking about small recreational things like mazes. But if you genuinely think I'm actually going to say it in the method that you think I am, you're sadly mistaken. But, so that's how you do it. You cheat. You put it up on your watch list and you can go click on it again in your history, in your YouTube. Cheat like that. It works. How is everybody tonight anyway? I hope you're all doing well. I hope everyone's had a good day so far. Or at least uneventful, if not good. Uneventful is... Shut myself up already. Right. Water pot needs to go there, so phone can go there, and hopefully me moving some of paintbrushes won't make too much of a difference because it won't knock my phone over. Excellent. So tonight we have the Wizard, which we primed last week, which is being funny with the... Yeah, the Lizard Wizard. Now you can't see it properly because I've not done the dry brush yet. So that's the first thing we need to do. So we need ivory. And in this case, I'm tempted to do a heavy ivory and a light white. But yeah, I'm not sure. Good evening, Ali. Thank you for joining. Either one is fine. I'm actually in the portrait mode one as a viewer, as opposed to in as a on there where I can't do much, but I'm in the portrait one as a viewer, so I can do things. So I'm okay with that at the moment. If you want to just stay in horizontal mode, that is perfectly fine. Even though you do have a blue name, you are a viewer as well. You are here for the viewing just as much as everybody else. So this should be absolutely no reason why you can't enjoy it in your own measure, whichever way you want. Some people prefer the portrait mode, some people prefer the vertical mode, or the horizontal mode. And both are fine. So I need a damp brush, not a wet brush. I'm going to take most of the water out of that. And then load up the brush with some ivory. And then this is where the hand ends up covered in paint. See, that's too wet. So now I'm going to dry it out on my hand essentially. It's still got a bit of paint on it, but not enough. So I'll have to redo that again, and let's see if it works a bit better this time. Yes, it does. You have this mode on your laptop, so I'm assuming you put the other mode on something else? Oh, I wonder. What is it you're doing on? So let's try and get our lighting areas so we can actually see where we need to put the detail and where light's going to catch mainly on this little chappy. Now, obviously with it being a Lizard Wizard, I've already chose the class for it, but still this is to be named, and we have had a lot named now. We've got a lot of the characters named now, which is absolutely excellent. We've still got a few to go, which I'll probably go through at some point, because we have got the bat named now. The bat is named Barnaby, I think. Yeah, Sparkles named him this afternoon. Yes, Barnaby is the bat. Now, we did have other names such as Bernard, Barry, Bruce, and another one that I can't read because I can't read my own handwriting, but no. This afternoon, Sparkles turned around to me and said, I want one to be called Barnaby. So, fair enough. One can be called Barnaby. So I showed her all the ones that had not yet been painted first. and she didn't like apparently Barnaby didn't suit any of them. So, right, okay. So at that point, we went through what needed naming or what needed names finalising on. And as it was a name she's going, one has to be called, and there was such deliberation over the bat, she decided the bat. So yeah, the bat is called Barnaby. Yes, also hi to anyone watching it in the portrait mode. Or whether you found it through lives, through flicking through on shorts. Hey, stick around. Come out of the doom loop. I've been stuck in many a doom loop. I've lost hours and hours and hours on absolutely useless things in doom loops that I still had no remembering and no idea. Whereas here, you can talk and we'll talk back. You can ask questions. You can ask stupid questions. That's fine. Just don't ask "I'm being a dick" questions. Then my moderators have full control to just tear into you just before they kick you, so you don't get to answer back. I do run a very, very tight dictatorship on this channel, I must say. Good evening, Lee. Sparkles is laughing at me. It's not fair. Why are you laughing at me? Because I run a dictatorship. Yeah. Well, yeah, all YouTube channels are dictatorships. They have to be. The person behind the camera gets to say what goes blah blah blah. The people on the chat get to have their own input, and as I found out, there are nice people out there, so they get to stick around, and they do stick around, and they pop in, and we talk and we chat, and things happen, and we have a good time. Sometimes people come in and don't stick around. It's entirely up to them. It's entirely up to you. It is all of you, every single person. I say every single person, like the entire world watches this. I'm probably like sat in the furthest corner of YouTube that anyone's ever heard of. Right, I need to go through a white, because I do have obviously bold titanium white, and I'm tempted to do that over some of like the top of the hat, the book, the really, really brighter places. Not a problem, Lee. If you've got a new airbrush project, that is awesome. I can't turn my airbrush on because it's getting late at night and children wish to sleep. Or should I say, I wish children to sleep, so I don't want to give stupid big noises out. I'm going to wipe the end of that just so it doesn't go all weird. And then when it does that again, I'm going to try and take as much of the paint off so it doesn't dry. And dabby white. And then, yeah, I'm going to try and brush bold titanium white off on that sheet of white A4 paper. I'm smart, aren't I? Wow, that is just... Whoa. See, this is Pro Acryl for you. Jesus, it just keeps coming and coming and coming. And I wipe loads off onto the... Yeah, I'm going to have a white hand by the end of this, just so I can get the right amount of paint so I can dry brush the two tiny bits of a model. But adding that white on the very, very tops and the edges, just where the sun would hit highest, or where the light would hit highest. So it's not going all the way on everything. It's just the very, very ends and the brightest bits. So if you're an experienced painter, you're thinking, you're just setting up for slap chop. Yeah, essentially. But I'm not using the slap chop technique to actually paint them. I will be using paints. In this case, I will be mixing blue with the metallic medium for the skin tones, and going for greeny, turquoisey colours for the clothing. And then obviously like browns and standard leathers and stuff for pouches and whatnot. In fact, I might go a bit purple for some of the pouches on him because he is a wizard after all. I just realised I just put my cup down right in front of the portrait chat. That's not a good idea. Right, so tonight I'm going to be using, as I said, the metal medium. So this is a semi-clear paint that it's a technical paint, so you mix it with the colour that you want and it turns the colour that you want. Slightly lighter, but metallic. It's what I used on the bee. If anyone remembers me doing the bee. Please don't ask me which one of the magical world is. I have no idea. So, because I've got to do mixing, I'm going to need some space. So where's the best place to put this? Now, if you're looking on the vertical cam, you can see the entire top here. But if you're looking at the portrait, you get to about here and it stops. So, right, metallic medium in that corner there. And it just looks very bright white, grey, I know, at the moment. But we have some magic to happen. And I'm going to mix all that. Actually, should I? No, I don't think I will. I'm going to put a nice dollop of blue down there right near it. And slowly start working it up into... Oh, I forgot, because, yeah, I don't get on. So, because I'm using my phone and my PC, one of them is smart enough to go, oh, you're streaming, I'm gonna mute stuff, so, you know, things like Discord or any notification-y stuff doesn't interrupt and doesn't pop up in your stream. My phone doesn't realise I'm streaming because I'm watching myself. God, how vain is that? I have no sound on it, so I can chat with you in chat. Lee, good evening. You've come over and joined the portrait mode. It's easier on the phone sometimes, isn't it? Just to have it sat there. I do understand why portrait mode is a thing. It's also why I try and keep most of what I'm painting or all of what I'm painting within the portrait mode camera. That way I know it's definitely on the horizontal view, but everybody gets to see everything as I'm doing it. And that's kind of the point. So, skin is metallic, making it blue. Okay. Now, it's not even like I can blame all this on Sparkles, because I'm the one who said I wanted to make it metallic. So, let's get on with this. Oh crap, I'm wondering why I can't see as well. I have my wrong glasses on. I'm an idiot. Oh, you got both on. Thank you very much, Lee. Thank you. Obviously, you understanding certain things means I understand why you're doing that, and yes, it is very much appreciated. Glasses cloth. Really should do this. See, I've got two pair of glasses on. The only difference is I've painted a little blue line on the edges of one of the pairs. That's the only difference. So bear in mind, I did that, not them. Other than that, they're the exact same, apart from a slight different prescription for looking at things close up or looking at... Yeah. So let's put the right glasses on, shall we? That does help quite a bloody bit. Not a fan of portrait mode? No. I can understand why. But being a self-admitted doom scroller, it's not like I'm unfamiliar with portrait mode, because it's how most shots get displayed. Watching a stream like that, no, I'm not sure I would. Even if I'm watching on my phone, and if I'm watching a stream that I don't wish to actively take part in the chat, I'll turn it sideways so it's essentially horizontal mode that way. But if it is one where I'm actively taking part in the chat, then I'm usually paying more attention to the chat than I am to whoever's waffling on screen. Sorry, Joey, Dan, EB, Blake, JV. But yeah, if I'm part of the chat, then I'm usually part of the chat rather than the actual stream. But if I'm just watching the stream, then I'll generally flick into horizontal. It just gives you. It just gives you see more. You get more. Yeah. Is that the name of the lizard by sheer prophecy? And if you can figure it out, what name I've just said, please type it. I have no idea how many people are in, really. But yeah, I've just said a name for this lizard wizard. If you can figure it out, please type it. If someone does type it, then I do think it would be almost destined to call him that. Do you hear the name that I just said? Oh. See, so it is a possibility that this may get missed and it may not actually come true. But yeah, I just said a name. It was off the cuff. It wasn't even meant in the context of a name either. But yeah, they are shiny blue. Shiny blue. Now it's not an over the top metallic. I could possibly, if I started essentially just adding little bits of more metallic medium in now and going over the brighter places, that should work as highlighting, I think. No. Let's find out. Don't ask me what that noise was. That's something that should not come out of a human mouth. I know. But hey, there we go. It did. It happened. It's live. It's out there in the ether now. I can't do anything about it, so huzzah. Aha, so yeah, it is a little bit lighter if I've added more metallic. So if I go over the higher places, I should be able to let that. I suppose if they're a lizard and they're shiny, does that make them possibly part dragon? Could this be a Dragonborn wizard? Could this be our second Dragonborn? So we're actually using the player's handbook properly and selecting races that way. Rather than using the Dungeon Master's Guide and looking for animals. Right, so feather this in metallic like that. But, right, that was using Calgar blue. So that's quite a dark blue, really. What I'm going to try doing is adding a bit of a lighter blue. And try and just catch the tops of what look like either scales or ridges across the tail, mostly. Maybe a couple on the back of the hand. But this one's much more of a brighter, more comic book style blue. So if I can mix, come on, change the colour. Basically, I want it to change the colour to roughly the way I want it, but I don't know if it will. But there's only one way I'm going to find that out, and that's to try. Because I don't want it too far away from the original colour. I do want it to be able to blend in to a certain degree, but I do want that subtle change of colour difference. If you get what I mean. Probably not, because most of the time it sounds like I'm just talking complete twaddle. But someone might. You never know. There's how many billion people on this planet. And I know some of them don't have access to YouTube or certain parts of YouTube or even the internet. Well, some of them have too much access to the internet, so it kind of balances out. How many of these are there? More than I thought. No, this is where proper paid for software and a macro lens would come in handy. So you can actually see what I'm painting. At the moment it's really super small. And then I can use this one also as a highlight colour for anywhere that's actually still in shade, such as the face. So I can keep the darker colour but brighten the rest of him up. Especially anywhere where he has got those scales. Which is mostly around the front. Okay, that metallic is definitely starting to shine through. How much it will come through on the camera, I'm not sure, but not shiny, which is nice. Good evening, Twisted. What have you got left to do on that marine? Are you basing? No, he's been based, hasn't he? No, it's just the right. No, don't matter. I've just answered my own question. Unless you've done it and you're about to tell me that, then I've just answered my own question. Never mind. And if anyone's wondering what I'm talking about, please feel free to take advantage of the fact that the Discord is free and come join us. More the merrier. More people painting stuff, more people chatting. And that is kind of what I've put it there for. It's not just for people to talk to me. It's if you make a friend in the chat, then you can talk to them outside of my chat. Even though I know it's my server, but it's set up for Do gotta say though, the rules are simple. Please follow them. They're ridiculously simple. Do not annoy the most mild-mannered person I know. Which is in itself quite an easy thing to do. Somehow I managed not to. I annoy the out of her. But, well, stick around. You'll find out why. So, that's the skin tone done. That was really easy. My finger. That was really easy. That was too easy. I've only been going like 20 minutes. 23 minutes? Right. But I've still got a lot of the model to do. Now, I'm not doing metallics for the clothing. Because that will overshadow the fact that is metallic skin, I think. So, I'm going to have to pick a colour for eyes, tongue. What else is on there? We have a strap for what I'm assuming is a component pouch. We have we have underneath garments and a robe. And we have a wizard's hat thing with stitching, a band, and a feather. Oh, I think that's a ball on the end of the hat. Oh, wonderful. Now, the strap's quite nice on this model, I've got to say, because it is double back and it does look like. And we've got a necklacey thing as well. And obviously, the twig that's a wand. So you can see the shine then. That was nice to know. The shine is actually coming through. And so, there you go. That's what the metallic medium does. It turns the Macragge blue a little purpley, which is not a bad thing, but the more comic book, so like Caledor Sky, or Caledor Sky. No, it's Caledor Sky. Which is more like a more standard blue poster paint quite bright. No, that maintains the blue. So yeah, I'm quite happy to hear that. Twisted. You do make me laugh sometimes. You do. You are living a life similar to what many people would like to. However, to live that life, you're paying for it, dude. That's the way you're paying for it sucks. Right. Anyway, back to Peyton being a little bit cheerier, because even though some of us have conditions, some conditions are worse than others. Some conditions are caused by some things, and some conditions are caused by others. Right, it just so happens this one's the channel where, yeah, motor functional disorders are the theme of the day. So in case anyone's wondering why I'm doing this is therapy. What kind of nutter am I? I don't know. I get to find out soon, dog. I may have autism, apparently. Not meaning any offense to anybody who does have something wrong with them on the autistic or ADHD, on that spectrum. I'm just getting told by people that I need to get tested. So, yeah, if enough people tell you the same thing, it's like maybe you should pay attention to it. Right, so we know this is going to be the darker of the greens on the hat. So we're going to paint this on first. And then we're going to try and hopefully blend somehow between that shade of green and the bright jade from the Provoco range. And blend it up through into all the light areas. I'm not going to lie. The last few times I've attempted this, not been 100% successful. They haven't. But, well, if I keep trying, I'm going to get it right eventually, aren't I? So. See, that's how you turn a frown upside down. And you're getting some amazing painting done as well, despite, as I said, its multifunctional difficulties are the theme of this channel. I just happen to be on the lesser end of the scale. Luckily for me. Some people, I mean, you might have even saw my hand shaking a bit then. He's not perfect at the moment, but I've took my tablets and I should be well medicated by now. So there shouldn't be anything dramatic going on, which causes stream to end. But yeah, there's a reason I don't go thinking, right, I'm going to paint a golden demon entry. No, not a chance. My hands just couldn't do it. It's not a case of not being able to put the hours into practice if I wanted to. My hands just don't let me. Doesn't help with the main point of focus of my particular thing being right in the basically right at the nape of your neck. So it affects my shoulders, and they're the things that it affects quickest and in the most subtle ways. But yeah, if that thing ever goes off properly, Sparkles is straight on the mouse and clicking that red thing. Luckily, I don't think I've ever actually had a not on one of my own streams. I know that much. I have on JV's Hangouts. JV wasn't sure what was going on, and I was muted at the time, so I couldn't actually tell him, which sucked. So he wasn't sure. Eventually, he kind of cottoned on a little bit and like turned my camera off for me. Once it had passed, I came back on. So true professional, of course. Once it had passed, I came back on. I did get questioned a little bit about it because obviously curious. My friends had only heard about this and never actually seen it, so there was some curiosity about it. And it did alleviate my anxiety to start the channel, I must admit, because once you've got, if it's already happened live, then that's the worst thing that could have happened, is it happened live on camera. So it's already happened. So what's the worst that can happen this time? And even without lockups on JV's channel, I've done way worse stuff that I should be worried about than just having a lockup. I've said way worse stuff. Yeah. Please go check out JV's Hangouts if you really want to be able to come back here and go, Laz, no way. You're evil, or you're funny, or you're a dick, or... Yeah, go check them out. You'll... Certainly an interesting thing. But obviously that was much earlier in my YouTube career. I say career. It's therapy. I certainly don't earn a wage for doing this. But I do get to tell my therapist that I did take some me time. It's one of the things they made sure. I said, you gotta take some you time. Right, okay. You've got to be able to document it. Oh, I can't be arsed writing it down. Okay, I'll let YouTube record it for me. And then people started showing up and talking to me. Jeez. And then I got used to it. And then I did it for a while and slowly started getting slightly better at painting. And now here we are. Hello. It is, as you said, you're lucky twisted that you didn't have one. But it's always in the back of your mind. And as I said, the worst thing that can happen is to have one. And obviously, having already gone through that point, it's like, well, damn, I've already done it now. Might as well. Well, in this particular instance, it was a case of I'd forgot to actually take my tablet, which was bad. Once JV had like turned my camera off, Sparkles literally walked over, put the tablet in my mouth, poured some water in so I could take my tablet, and it's not an immediate thing by any stretch when anything. Oh, so it's just to take a tablet and it's done. So why don't you just take a tablet? No, it does have to kick in. It's a long lasting thing. It's just that my lockups are compared to other people's, where it's either extremely long periods of time or permanent. Mine can vary in never usually longer than an hour. Hours most. I think I've ever been in that position, which is not a nice position, but still. It can just happen multiple times, and because of the fact that I'm conscious, they're saying it's not epilepsy, so, and it's not photosensitive, so they're saying it's not epilepsy, so it's a non-epileptic attack disorder. Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand it. They don't understand it. They just give me medication and hope I go away, but I don't. I don't go away. I'm not sure if that was a good thing or a bad thing to have just done, but yeah, as I said, you find out why Sparkle's the most mild-mannered person I've ever met. Ain't so mild-mannered with me sometimes. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's an absolutely lovely woman. She doesn't scream and shout at me. She doesn't hurl abuse at me. She doesn't throw things at me. Well, all of which I'm very thankful for. Because I know there are relationships out there and the women out there that will do that. They can go get... because then I get my chance to hurl abuse back. But how you can't not be nice to the nicest person. It's just... It's sorry. And yeah. It's not even like you're saying sorry to your mum, it's more like you're saying sorry to like the Queen. It's just yeah. See, she's laughing at that. So it's one of the things that does make her smile, but yeah. I didn't look at half the things I think she wasn't gonna be smiling at, but I could feel eyes. So yeah, in that instance, it wasn't a. I don't feel because I felt fine going into the stream, but having not taken my tablet like 4 hours earlier, when I'm expecting it to be in my system, it just nope. And sad thing is, one of the side effects of my medication is the symptoms for my diagnosis. So it's kind of compounding on top of, yeah, not good. So when it actually did go to that point, it was just, okay, it was damn near guaranteed. Anyone wondering, yes, I have took my tablet tonight. I took my tablet, I know I took my tablet because I used a slightly different method than normal. Ali, you are hot on those links. Damn, if I ever get monetized, you do realise I'm going to have to start paying you money if you keep going like that. Yeah, I say if I ever get monetized. Not a chance. Even if it were to hit the markers, YouTube will look at me and go, no. No, we're just not doing it. Don't care. Nope. So the hat. How happy am I with the hat? You can still see some of that. Sorry, one moment. Sneezing isn't fun, especially when you always do it 2 or 3 times. Can't sneeze once, apparently. Nope. It's not allowed. I do realise I've done most of this with one single brush. I put metallics and blues and greens and all sorts all in the same water. I have broke most of the painting rules. Just to let people know, this is not a painting tutorial. This is some guy waffling while he's painting. Hoping that you can waffle along with him. Anyway, back to the painting bit. Now, I want to do the cloak pretty much the same way. However, I think I'm going to need a darker green underneath for the very, very shaded areas. Because the hat's where the light's coming down on, obviously. Under there, it's not as bright, it's not as vibrant, so I think I'm going to need a darker green. I'm not sure where I'm going to get the darker... Oh! I could just give it a wash and not give the other one a wash. Do the green, give it a wash, and then go do the green highlight and then do the lighter green. Would that work? I'm not sure. It's really, I don't know why I'm putting the paintbrush in my mouth sideways tonight while I'm thinking. I don't know. Right. But then I've got to be careful of his neck. I've got to be careful of his necklace anyway. I'm going to have to repaint over it, and his eyes, and his tongue. And while I notice that, I'm getting that as well. Ali, may I ask you a question? Seeing as at the moment you are the only person I know that jumps between the two and is, I think you're paying more active attention than Lee, because I think Lee, you're still spraying. Not a criticism, it's just that, yeah, if you're going to ask the person, you ask the person who can do it. You're busy, and I don't wish to stop you from doing your work. Ali, which one's better to look at, the portrait mode one or the wide one? I'm not sure. Yeah, true. If I hit my goals, they might be happy enough to give certain things, but in all fairness, I don't. If you hit the buttons and do the YouTubey stuff, thank you. Thank you very much. There is no obligation to. I don't really do much regarding income that is different from the free stuff anyway. Pretty much everything that goes on in Discord is all free. There is only one singular. Well, there are a couple, but that's for my personal use on the Discord channel. But there's only one paywalled voice channel. That is it. And that is so I can talk to people one-on-one at certain points. Speaking of which, it is coming up this Saturday. If anyone who's not signed up, who may wish to sign up, from 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I have 1 hour segments for one-to-one chats with Patreon subscribers, but I only have one at the moment, so they've got a choice of whichever time slot they want, because I don't actively push my Patreon. It's there, but no, I'm not actively pushing it. If somebody wishes to, I'm not going to stop them, but I have one level. It offers one thing, because I can't really do much. It's lazy. I'm lazy mini painting for a reason. Most of the time, I'm not capable of doing most basic shit. Never mind painting. I choose the nights I do purposely, because I'm usually in a state where I can. I've decided I'm going to go for Warboss Green, by the way, as the base tone for underneath this, to make it slightly darker. Just in case anyone's wondering why. You just got brand new paint out. It's like, yeah, I'm using Warboss Green as the base for the robe. Or certainly the darker areas. What I may do is only do the darker areas and then build it up from there with the other ones. But yeah, certainly the darker areas. Have I got hair on my brush? I have. Cat hairs. Yeah, wash your brush. Always wash your tip. Gotta remember, wash your tip, people. Keep it sharp. Keep it sharp and clean. Which is, if I ever did a BTS video or behind the scenes video, it's pretty much all you'll see is me cleaning brushes. And they wouldn't come that often, and not as often as you think they should. There's a reason why I buy multiples of brushes, so I can go, right, okay, I can't leave. If I need one quickly and I've forgotten to wash it, I can just grab one that's clean. So go over everywhere that I wish to have for the darker colour first, because I don't think I'm gonna have to paint the entire bloody thing. I hope not. I just realised something. The only person who's going to take one of them time slots is just spent yesterday talking to me for an hour anyway. Oh God. If you're wondering how crazy this channel is and how stupidly ludicrous, that answers your question. I'm not even sure how much. I can't remember how much it pays for that. I know there are no higher tiers. There is one, and you get to be an ivory despot. And there's a reason you get to be an ivory, because ivory is my favourite colour to do, because it does so much. You can use it as the setup colour to do your light shape, your lighting, and see where your light casts are, and know where the brighter bits and the dark bits, and etc. You can use it just as ivory and make something bony coloured, and then to give it the wash, and then the dry brush over it, it gets really nice. And it's just a versatile paint and colour. Ivory's like the pinnacle as far as I'm concerned. Some people could argue black because that's where you start from, but you could start from white, and then you could use ivory as a deeper recess colour, as a darker colour, as a shades, but still be really, really, really bright. I'm getting way too excited over ivory, aren't I? It just shows how much I like it. Or how crazy I am. And I may end up with a TISM certificate by the end of the year. I don't think they're going to want to sit through all my streams just to find out if my evidence. So, yeah. I'm going to have to go talk to them out. I'll just go exhibit A, B, C, D, and then A1, A2, A3, A4, and just loads of the damn things. I don't think they're going to like that. Great for the algorithm. They'll have to sit there and watch the entire bloody thing. But I don't think they'll want to. It's the most compelling evidence I can give. I'm guessing so anyway. I think so. They ask me my name, they tell me what evidence they think I can give them. I go, I play a character called Laz on the internet who paints things. Here you go. And then they look at me like I've got 3 heads and go, what? I didn't even think about what I'm going to do with a book. Oh, I managed not to swear. Fucking A. Ah, never mind. I'm guessing it's the what the hell's going to come out of his mouth. Which version of him's going to turn up this week? Or this stream, should I say. Is he going to be happy bouncing Orky Laz? Is it going to be I've had enough of the bloody world, so I'm slagging everything off, Laz? I don't really know until I turn the camera on. That's when I have to make the switch. And that's when I find out. Eventually the switch happens at the very start when I say, welcome to Lazy Mini Painting. That's when the switch happens. I go from me, who my neighbours all say hello to me who sits here behind the camera. There is a difference. Trust me. For good or ill. You say to make a character of yourself, you're supposed to dial yourself up to 11. I've had to dial myself down to 5. It sucks. If it didn't, Sparkles weren't going to let me on the internet. I'll let me have my own channel, should I say. Obviously, she's got to be able to. It is, as I said, it is the living room I do, and I'm not a completely heartless and unsensitive person. Although, I've got to say, well, what did you expect to the Manchester police? Because somebody got arrested, and rightly so, they got arrested because they was involved in something really, really, really bad, and then they got let go for it, and then at an airport, get bloody arrested again. Why do you think they were going to go after doing that thing that was really, 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 really bad? You absolute buffoons! They should just handed him over to the people that were looking for him. If it was obviously a thing to do with that discussion and that disagreement, so let them sort it out in that way. Hello, Kafra. In his Halloween jammies. The fact that you managed to get him to wear jammies is... Take a picture, please, if possible. I've just heard it from behind. It's like, oh. This comes from the fact that Sparkles currently has our cat lay on her knee. Which means at any point, she's dropping off to sleep. It's going to be my voice and a nice warm cat on the lap. Right, there may be people going, Laz, you're putting like way more effort into this than usual. Yeah, it's just occurred to me as well. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm getting scared. I'm getting scared. I've put more effort into this cloak than I think I've put into any other model on the entire thing. Right. I believe that should be able to do for the cloak to show that it is a nice green cloak. Slightly different from the hat itself, but still in keeping. Of course, you don't need to ask. You're a fully grown adult, Ali. You go ahead and do whatever you need to do. Certainly don't need my permission. If it was just a statement of facts, in case I asked you a question and you didn't respond, then fair enough. But you certainly don't need my permission for that stuff. You're a grown adult. Unless by that you mean you want to sit there and me go beep 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 or something like that. I've got no idea, but other than that, yeah, pee breaks are fine. See, and this is why I get strange looks, and Sparkles is not quite sure what the in hell she's marrying sometimes. Oh. I've just seen my glasses up. No. I think everybody's gone and left me though. I have no idea. I'm talking to myself. What's new there? Right, so what else have we have? We have obviously we have a book. Yeah, we understand we have a book. We have the strap going around the hat, which looks more like a ribbon, but it has a buckle, and it's got a feather in it. We've got some kind of bauble on the end of it. We've got the strap going around to the pouch, which goes all the way around the back there, and we have a beaded necklace. And we have... what else have we got? I've just missed a big bit of bloody green cloak though, I just noticed that. Obviously all this has been done without washes because I don't want to dull the metallic that I've used. Right, well, I'm going to have to choose a colour for his tongue anyway. But if I'm going to choose a colour for his tongue, I'm going to have to find out if there's something else that I'm going to want to paint that colour as well, just to find out how much I'm going to need. But I am thinking a nice orange, actually, for the, the band around the top. This one. I am thinking a nice orange, actually. Yeah. Fire bright orange. Or fire dragon bright. I mean, really bright. Oh no, I need to find some. I don't want to be putting an orange wash on there. And it has got wrinkles in it. I don't want to be running speed paint on it. I mean, I could thin the wash out. Yeah, thinning the wash out should work. But yeah, I'm liking the idea of an orange ribbon around that bright greeny blue hat. I'll have to come back with a extremely small brush to do the pin. I'm definitely liking that idea for that. So metallic blue skin, green cloaks. Oh, I think I've also got a class for somebody. Who was it? Oh, I'm going to have to see if I've already got the class for that as well done. But I got a suggestion for name and class for one of the other characters from one of my children. Now, obviously, I am completely fucking biased. I'd be a bad father if I wasn't. At least on something that... yeah. Look, if they kill someone, fine, I'll kick their asses before I hand them into the police. But regarding something like this, I'm allowed to be completely and utterly biased because I love my children. Bad not to. So the Lucario painty one, which I can't remember what the hell it is now. I don't even think I've written it down on this list. Sparkles, Oak, Storm, Gris, Sid, Shadow, Nadal, Shamash, Chester, the Warlock Bartender, Jeff. No Purple Bunny name yet, or class, although Barbarian does have been put forward. Coppercat, again. No name. The Monk Red Panda has Herman as a name, and he's a Way of the Open Hand monk. The Drake's called Ember. The Rogue Bat is obviously called Barnaby now. Ranger Beastmaster Fox still needs a name, and Spider still needs a name. So the Lucario is a Ranger type, so it's no, I'm going to make it. I'm going to overrule. I'm going to make it a Druid type. but it's gonna lean into the shape changing side as opposed to the circle of land, which is what oak is. So that's a yellow fox. I've got to write this in now. Sorry. It's just come into my head. It's just arrived. Yellow fox. Is a druid. So a semi-spellcaster as my child wanted. But Lucas was a name that was put forward as an option, but I'm not 100% sold on it, and I've got to wait for Sparkle's final. So if anyone else has a name for the yellow fox with a blue hood, please feel free to let me know. Right, back to the actual painting. I've still not decided what colour I want to do his tongue. Part of me wants to do it some like either orange or yellow or maybe even like bright pink. But if I'm going to do bright pink, I think I'm going to have to paint it underneath just a darker pink and go over it first. Not a problem, Twisted. Did you enjoy your dinner? I hope it's something nice. So I do have a very bright pink in the Emperor's Children's pink. Ridiculously bright pink. So that should work quite well. And then, but I'm going to have to put another pink underneath it. So whether it was pink, purple, burgundy, whatever, whichever colour it was earlier. Screamer pink, that'll do. So a darker shade of pink to go underneath it. It's only on the tongue, so you're not going to really notice, I don't think. But every little bit helps. Wrong brush. Need a smaller brush. Need a bigger brush to get a bit out though. More than enough to paint the tongue. And managed to just about keep it on camera as well. Woo! You know, so after 4 years I might be getting the hang of this stuff. No. I still forget how to start every bloody time. I forget how to end every time as well. I don't even get me onto when I ever need to go for either a refill of my cup of tea or a pee break as Ali has just gone for. Yeah, that just gets silly at that point. I am actually going to paint these gemstones that colour, or at least the every other one, that darker pink as well. I'm not going to go as bright up with the pink. I'm probably going to put a red on it, but it's just to give me a base, particularly at the ones that are further forward, and then the ones at the back of his neck I can just base with this and it's done. I don't have to brighten them up quite so much. Oh, this side I will. Right, okay. Trying to be careful not to get any on his skin. I'm looking at his eyes and I'm not sure what to do. But I have other stuff to move on to and paint in the meantime, so let's crack on. I've got to wait for his tongue to dry, which is taking ages for some reason, and I'm not sure why. I'm going to go for a straight. Now, the blue that I used with the metallic medium to make his skin, I'm just going to use that neat on his undergarments. So there's going to be no metallic. And it'll be much darker. And no shiny bit. Just, even though I'm putting it up there near that, trying to remember which one's the metallic one and which one's not. Obviously, the smaller one isn't, but still. I'm forgetful sometimes. Then we can just come in with a straight plain dark blue spot in there. And then possibly I'm going to try what happens if you mix a bit of that with it. You never find out new stuff if you're not at least willing to experiment and try. And that has just lightened that up quite nicely, I must say. So hopefully if I can catch the high spot still, well, it's slightly wet. And almost highlight the damn thing all at the same time. Just by mixing in the turquoise in with the blue instead of a straight white, just to try and keep the tone very similar. Could be using a smaller brush for this, but never mind. And that paints the inside in without making it metallic, right? Hey. I'm getting the hang of it. I'm getting the hang of it. I'm actually getting done quite quickly as well. Ooh, so what colour do I wish to do? The back of the book, because the back of the book has a little gemstone on it and it has binders and it has, yeah, the back of, it's a fancy wizard's book. You just can't see the back of it. Basically, it's got a big gemstone on it and two bindy things around the spine just to make sure it stays together. Other than that, I just need to pick the colour of the book. What's colory? Ooh. How did that work out last time? That worked out okay. I can try it with another one. Right. I talk to myself a lot, and sad to say, sometimes you only actually get the... Yeah, you don't get the full thing. Sorry about that. My idea is now is to get semi-dried ivory paint. This is why I love it. Paint the gemstone in it, but I only want one coat and I don't want it perfect. But I do want it so it's very well covered, all areas, but I want there to be slight deviations in just how much there is in there. This brush is curling, which is kind of helpful and kind of not. So if I paint the gem brighter, you see, then I can do the clasps in a metallic, an actual metallic, not one of my homemade ones, and I can put a wash over that gem, and then maybe just a little white. In fact, I might try putting that on. No, because there is no light glint down there, no white. I just need to pick a wash. What colour gemstone should I put on the book? Any ideas? Red. Gotta stop doing this. I ask Sparkles things, and unless I give her the options that I want, in which case she just says yes, infuriating. If I give her one where it's just okay, give me what you want to choose. She has a habit of choosing the one thing that I don't actually fucking have. So in this case, I'm going to have to go, right, do you want it to be orange, Coelia green shade, blue, purple, or yellow? Okay. At least this time she didn't say yes. She's done that a few times. In fact, more often than you'd think was humanly statistically possible. She's give the answer yes to a multiple choice question where yes is not one of the answers. Welcome back, Ali. Thank you for coming. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else does that. If you do, you're fucking annoying. But give yes to it. Do you want egg and chips for tea tonight, or do you want cheese on toast for tea tonight? Because we had that big meal earlier. Yeah. Which one? Do you want a cup of tea or coffee? Yeah. No, it was multiple choice. The old point is you're supposed to choose one. It wasn't do you want a cup of tea? Yes. See, if she'd have cut me off when I said, do you want a cup of tea? Yes. Fine, I wouldn't have even asked for coffee at that point. But no. Purple, of course, that's the best answer. Right, okay. So both of you are agreeing that is a purple gemmed book. Right, okay, so metallic that goes well with purple is... Oh, brass goes okay, but I've been using a lot of it recently with the Williams. So I should have a Retributor Arm of Gold somewhere. I do. I have a Retributor Armor Gold, Retributor Armor Gold. Ding, 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 ding. This is getting really quick. I might not even get to break at this point. Sorry, Graham. But yeah, if we keep going at this speed, I ain't getting to go to a break. I'm gonna finish the model before we even get to that point. Usually, if I have a break, it's at least a 2.5 hour stream. But I am speeding quite easily through this, but there are probably a few things that I'm gonna have realised I've overlooked once I've painted them. So I've still got to do the pages. I got lots of browns. And I've got to pick a colour for the feather. To go on with green. That can be red. I've got red paints, just don't have a red wash. I have an orange wash and a yellow wash, just not a red wash. Just to get the gold in on the pin up here. Or at least the clasp. Whatever it is. And go on, I'll give him a golden bell end. Of his hat. Charm on the end of his hat. See how that goes. He's got to have something there. He's a wizard. try and get this one in before I actually start with the browns. Obviously not. I've not put a single bloody wash on this thing yet. And I've still not chose a colour for his eyes. Red eyes. Oh yeah, red eyes. Oh, red eyes is back. Red eyes, red feather. Obviously I'm going to have to ivory up the books, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any kind of glyph work, maybe? Oh, I'm going to have to think. Okay, anybody who is watching, thank you very much for joining in, if you've only just joined in. Unfortunately, I'm just about to go for probably going to amount to about a 5-minute break, and then I'm going to come back and look at the wand, the magic spell book, and hopefully I can then finish off the eyes and the tongue, because everything in his face is going to be dry, and then work on the saddlebag thing and see what I need to wash and what I don't need to wash. Should be interesting. But yes, I will be back soon, which means I've got to remember how to be a YouTuber again, which means click that first of all, and then Arius Nation, he should have a playlist. I am one of his subscribers. Playlist, awesome. Starbound, full album. 59 minutes, that'll do, Dan. Please tell me if this is any good. I have no idea. But this is a friend of mine. He's got multiple channels, but this is his music channel, and it is DRM free if you wish to use it for such things like I'm about to use it for now. Please enjoy.
Crowded show, flooding lights in the undertow. Every face was a mirrored flame, every voice still calls my name. We were sparks against the dark, every lyric lit a mark. Still I feel it, still it stays, calling through the the sound remains. Every song still runs in our veins. We'll never fade, we'll never fold. These echoes never get old. suburban skies. Dreams too big for a town this size. Every street feels like a cage. Every mile is another stage. We're burning faster than the ground. Every silence makes a sound. Chasing signals out of sight. Runaway hearts into the night. Like runaway satellites we fly. Breaking free from the weight of time. Every orbit pulls us high. We were made to cross the line. Flickering lights on the interstate. Every choice feels a little late. We don't belong where the echoes fade. We'll light it up with the mess we made. We're burning faster than the ground. Every silence makes a sound. Chasing signals out of sight. Runaway hearts into the night. Like runaway satellites we fly. Breaking free from the weight of time. Every orbit pulls us high. We were made to cross the line. We won't crash, we won't fall. Gravity can't take it all. Every scar is proof we tried. Every night we're amplified. Like runaway satellites we fly. Breaking free from the weight of time. Every orbit pulls us high. We were made to cross the line. We were made to cross the line. Another night we can't explain. Cover stories, different names. Signals fade into the skies. Running wild under starlit lines. We're not the saints they thought we'd be. We're chasing ghosts they'll never see. Every secret, every fight. We were sparks against the night. We made starlit alibis. Falling fast but still alive. Oh, oh, oh. We were reckless, we were afraid. Lost in our own history. Oh, every street, a forgotten.
And I'm back. Hello. I've got my headphones on because I was bopping along with the music very slightly. Yeah. Close the YouTube. We don't need that anymore. Hello. Welcome back. Thank you for staying, everybody who stayed. Let's get on with painting the book. I'll do the. No, I'm going to leave the back like that actually because that's quite nice. But I am going to paint the pages. I don't like them being that. I want them to be quite bright white. I don't even want these to be ivory. I want these to be so magical that they can't be stained or. These just going to be like really bright white pages. Getting around these fingers is a pain in the backside though, I've got to say. My hand not being 100% steady doesn't help. So let's just smooth out that coat a little bit before it dries fully. I do have some drying retardant. You know, just so you can help with wet blending, but I've not quite got to that. Also, thank you for anyone who's stuck around. I hope you weren't waiting too long, and I hope you managed to get anything that you was doing during that time done as well. Right, what colour am I gonna do? The feather. The feather, the feather, the feather, the feather, the feather. Bright, of course. Did I manage to find my a red Procro earlier? I'm pretty sure I did. So let's find out. Found a box. I found one of the boxes of paints. That I have. Look, it's over there. It's not far away. Don't worry. It's just table there. Anything else in this while I'm here? Possibly the Evil Sun Scarlet, just in case. I want two separate. See, one's slightly darker than the other, but only just. Only just. Yellow. Yellow. Yeah. Oh yeah, I could do the eyes like this and then do that yellow. Right, okay. Good idea, Ali. Good idea. So we want to go for yellow, we want to go for yellow, we want to go for yellow. Can we do the equivalent thing with that? Kinda. Again, very, very subtle difference. Very subtle difference. Oh. No, we do it that way instead. See, I do have ideas of my own. EB is here. EB is here. EB is where? If he is, I haven't seen him. Oh, he's in portrait. Evening, homie. Oh, cool. So you come in just for the music? Yeah. In fact, I've just figured out I can do that. There we go. I can pin that message. Those were half bad. Dan's stuff's pretty good. Yeah, so if you enjoyed any of them, please go check out Arius Nation. He's got loads of stuff. And as I said, he has it very kindly DRM free so people can use it. Which today I took advantage of. I don't always, I usually try to go for something without lyrics. But, well, Dan's my friend, so a small advertisement for him isn't a bad thing. Especially if he's half decent music and people like it. You may go find other stuff that you like. So we're going to start with more of a neutralish yellow browny colour at the base. But at the very tip it's going to be bright yellow. And EB, if you want a rough idea of a 500 point army, I've priced one up. It comes to 485, but I think that gives you room to add something to your Carl leader. And it's pretty much what I'm going to be getting within the Combat Patrol box set. So it's a unit of these 3 bikes, a unit of the Berserker things that I'm going to be getting, a unit of the standard troops, and I think it's the heavy set unit as well. And it comes to 485 points. Because I did price up all my combat patrols that I'll be getting, even though I'm a unit down at the moment. You came in just as I was taking a break. That is bad timing. Good timing because you got to listen to some of Dan's music, which, as you said, is not half bad. But yeah, I'm back now up until the finish of the model, or to the point where I don't actually think I can paint anymore. One of the two, whichever happens first. Because there are times where it's just like, no, I just can't paint anymore. My eyes are done in. I just have complete brain fog. I can't control my arms properly. So it's just best to call it end of the day at that one. Have a nice night, Ali. Thank you for coming in. And for doing all the stuff that I always forget to do. Right, so now I need the bright pink for the tongue, and then I need to work on the red for the eyes. And then it's the brown stuff, and then it's the glyphs. Right. This should be fun. And a bright pink tongue. I don't know if that's. Oh, there you go. Yeah, definitely visible there. Very bright pink tongue. That's that bit. That's the easy bit. A part of me's thinking I should just shade the wand, which I think I might try just to keep it quite light, as opposed to a darker brown. So it's like it's more peeled wood than wood with bark on. But I'm still going to thin it out a bit so it's not quite as thick. And not necessarily going to run down fully. I want more of a tint to it rather than a full wash. There we go. Wand, easily done. I really need to change my water. And stop sucking all the pigment off it. Red eyes. Now, there's not much difference between the two, but the Evil Sunz Scarlet is slightly darker, which will be the bottom layer for the eyes, and then the bright red for closer, or yeah, the higher edges. Yeah, the Votann aren't too bad compared to Astra Militarum or Imperial Guard, depending on the age of the player that you're talking to. Those are awful. Orcs, if you wanted to run a Green Tide army, oh dear God, it's going to cost you a fortune. Not as much if you go for the older Orc sculpt, which they still run, and I prefer. But if you go for the newer Orc sculpt, then yeah, it's going to cost you absolute. Because you only get 10 models in a box, and there are specific 10 models, so some have this, some have that, and you don't get a choice of which one you do or don't. And sometimes you got to field entire squads of just shooters or just choppers and sluggers. So you have to sometimes buy more boxes of those than you actually need in the first place. Whereas the older ones for the Orcs, you can make a full 10-man squad of choppers and sluggers, or you can make a full 10-man squad of shooters. Much more versatile. And you still got the bonus 11th knob in every single box, which you can just make as another boy if you wish. So it is pretty damn good. That just completely went wrong. Wipe all that away. All that away. And start again. That's better. As is that. Ah, no, I got a great big chunk of red on the hat. That's a pain in the ass. Yeah, and if you're trying to listen to me and your wifey, then yeah, I already know I'm losing out on volume, whether you've got headphones on or not. Say hello for me. I'll hear her say hello back over the ocean, don't worry. Sparkles is still awake. It's 11:10. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm scared. Although, yeah, nearly finished, I believe. Just a couple of browns. And I think I actually have the colours I might want to do the glyphs as well. Awesome. So, which colour brown do I wish to use for his quite a light brown? I think I'll go for the Monfort brown as his pouch, but then give it a bit of a wash. Forgot to shake it. Shake it. She said, "What up, Les?" No mud cherry. Still painting. Still not cursing anywhere near as much as you. I'm still waiting for my douche canoe t-shirt so I can wear it on stream. I know, you're going to save on postage and send it over when EB comes over. So I'm prepared to wait. I'm waiting 3 bloody years it is. 3 years? 4 years? 4 years? Maybe even longer. I don't know. I very much forget about it a lot of the time. How come Irino comes in and joins my chat? That's what up, last says she likes me so much. Never comes in and says hello. At least not for a very long time. Okay, glyphy part. Now this is going to require super duper small brush. And I believe that is the most super duper duper small brush I have at the moment. And I want to dip it in the red. And I wish to pull it out into the very, very small, very, very small fine thing. Now, this is going to be difficult. Okay, that's written in that colour. But on this page, it's a different spell. So there we go. He does have spells in his book. Now that is a really bad picture. I will have to zoom in better for that. What else? Oh, I've got to highlight the gemstones. Forgot about that bit. It's more a case of looking at the model and going, right, what else needs to be done? What else is not being fully fulfilled and done to the standard that I want it. In this case, it's these itty bitty stones around here. But only some of them are getting the red treatment because some of them are really under the shadow of his hat. And then checking things like cleaning up the edge of his cloak. This is why it's good to have a wet palette, because you can come back to paints that you made up earlier and clean areas up with them if necessary. No, we're doing alright actually. We don't have much cleanup. We'll do a little bit brighter on the top of his sleeve, so. Hands are starting to shake quite. So, no. Quite badly, which is not good. Well, there we have one lizard wizard. Let's see, where did I put that wash earlier? That bag needs a wash. And I don't mean a wash to make it look clean, I mean a wash to make it look slightly dirty. Good evening, Beaky. Good evening. Your timing is impeccable, because you usually always turn up for like the last 20 odd minutes. I don't know how you do this. I really don't. I'm glad you do at least manage to turn up. It cheers me up, thank you. But how you managed to do it for the last 20 minutes quite consistently, I'm not sure. But thank you for coming. Thank you. So we have the lizard wizard nearly painted. What type of wizard he's going to be, I'm not 100% sure. I should say what type of wizard he's going to be. He's going to be of a blue dragonborn nature with these nice shiny scales and skin. But overall, EB, you moved over. Hello. So I've just got to wait for that to dry, and I can give it a bit of a once over again with the base Mournfang. So probably an evocation wizard, just to go in with the whole dragony thing. Fuck it, I cast fireball. You know how it goes. But not sure on a name. I am quite happy with how the metallic effect turned out on his skin, though. Even on the slightly darker blue tone on the inside. That did turn out reasonably well. You should be able to tell better when I take more up close photographs, which in fact I could probably do now. No, I can't because I'm using my phone. See. Using Ed for once. So while I'm just waiting for that little bit to dry, EB's been pecking my head recently regarding building armies. There is a very easy one to build, which is Space Marines. And it's kind of librarian, or 2 librarians and 2 units to go, and 2 units to go with them, and that's it. Obviously, if you put 2 librarians in, you have less points, so you probably put in like 5-man squads with them. But you might go for the 100-point intercessors, and then or 200 points worth of intercessors to go with one, and then so many, however many you've got left. If you've got enough for 5-man hellblasters to go with the other, then awesome. But you don't get much for 500 points, but it's quick and it's easy to learn. You could go for 1 melee unit, 1 range unit. It gives you at least a little bit of option. So assault intercessors and normal intercessors, take a librarian or a captain or a chaplain in each. And librarian probably with the intercessors and chaplain with the assault intercessors, I would say, though. But that's just me running through my head what I think would take for a very small game. Just if you wanted a demonstration. I just need to figure out how to get that working. Now, facing that against that, yes, it would be a game, and it would be even, very evenly matched, you've got the same fucking units. But it'd be a little bit boring as far as I'm concerned, so the other team might take something slightly different. So maybe Orcs, Chaos Marines, something, at least a different faction that plays, even if it's a slightly different. Only a slight difference. Okay, so most of that's dry now, so I should be able to get the Mournfang just to touch up the areas that got really heavily washed and dulled down. There we go. Excellent. So the lizard wizard is done. And he's now only requiring a name. So I'm going to have to write him in the book now, because he's lizard wizard. Now we have, as I said, the druid Lucario themed model. And we have lizard wizard. Both still need names, which is, considering how many, I mean, we do have names overall, so we still have Orin, Sybil, Rothgar, Shin, Percival. Any of those could go with any of them. Shin. Ooh. Didn't get a nod, so it's still up for debate. Again, if anyone has any ideas and you want to let me know, either pop it in a comment down below. Well, if you're watching this after the fact, or if you're in Discord, put it in the Sparkles and Oak discussion. Lizard Wizard is easy to remember the name of, and Yellow Fox is the other one. Yellow Fox Ranger. Oh, sorry, Yellow Fox Druid. Being the half-caster. Now, I've got to wait for better lighting and take photographs of this, so I'll put that up in the finished models section and the Sparkles and Oak section. So, 2 places you can tag names for him. And yeah, I'll have to do it tomorrow. I've got to remember to do something tomorrow. But that means I'm ending this stream. I've done tonight. I don't know which model I'm painting next week. Next week's schedule, although the Monday and Thursday streams should be as normal, Wednesday probably won't. I will still get the magazine in the morning as I normally would, but I won't be reviewing it until late, either Thursday morning, or I may end up just doing an extremely long, almost double feature on Thursday night. We'll have to find out. But yeah, I won't be doing the normal Combat Patrol on Wednesday, sadly. But I will be covering the magazine, which is great. Hurrah! So thank you everybody for coming in, joining. If you're watching this after the fact and you want to do the YouTubey stuff, go right ahead. Like clicky that thing, changey that thing, go see what's in that list. You know the stuff. You've been through enough YouTube channels, you understand. Yeah, so please drive safe, everyone, and I will see you at 9:30 my time on Monday. Drive safe.